All right, I'm excited. We're going to kick off and get started. We're going to go over all things conference. We have several people that are going to share with you that was on our team and they're at the event. And so I am going to talk last because we all know that Becca can be a talker and I would go way over. So I'm going to let some other ladies share. And first up is going to be Miss Joni Warlow. So, Joni, you want to unmute and take it away, girl? Share your ahas, share what you took away from conference. Anything that's on your heart.
Why do I got to go first?
Because you were first on the lineup. I'm calling you higher, friend.
Okay, so what I took away is the first night they talked about that this is day one and how you can start now as day one, sort of like a redo. And then I also liked, was it Sherry Lynn that said, see it, believe it, pray for it, and then work for it. And then another thing, the thing I really liked was the pencil example. So our story is currently being written and you are the author. So 3 things the pencil can teach us is that there will always be a sharpening process when you come out of the storm and you want to be the same person. You don't want to be the same person who you walked in. Let's see. Number 2 is mistakes aren't permanent. That failure is simply gives us the opportunity to do day one again, but this time more intelligence. And then the third one is what inside matters and what lies behind us, before us, that is so tiny compared to what is within us. That's all I got.
I love that so much. So the pencil thing was huge for me too. I loved him walking around. And if you weren't there, what it was is they passed out pencils as we were walking back into like the second half on the second day. I think it was like right after lunch. They handed us a pencil. And on the pencil, they had us like hold it up whenever they were given the CEO speech. We all held it up in the air. And John said that the pencil represented all the things that Joni just shared. So I can't, my mind just went blank. Joni, you want to share that again so that they can go over it since you shared the tips? So what the outside was, what the eraser was for, and what the lid was
for. Okay, so the first one was there will always be a time where you will need to be sharpened, like a sharpening process. And then the number 2 was mistakes aren't permanent. So that's your eraser part.
Yeah.
And then the inside part is what's inside matters. So yeah. It can go dull, it can be sharpened.
Yeah, I love that. I love those analogies. Thank you so much, Joni. Okay, so next up is Shara. Take it away, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I'm so tired. First of all, I'm so tired. So I took the day off for that reason. Yes, I love the pencil analogy. And to put it into another perspective on that, if you know who Christy Vines is, he gave her a specific award at the very end. And what John did at the very end of Green Carpet was something I've never seen before. So he went through to people that he just wanted to give some acknowledgement to. And Crystal Pearl, let me go back a little bit. She was one. She's from Minnesota. He said he's watched her sharpen her pencil 3 times. So it could mean a lot of different things. It could mean that she's rebuilt 3 times. It could mean that she's had to start over a few times, but she's kept going and she's been here for like 13 years. Okay. And she's still at the top. Christy Vines, he said, you should have never succeeded. I mean, she has this pencil that she could erase everything and start over. So what's at your past? She was an addict. Her and her husband were filing for divorce. They separated for a while, but during the process of getting clean and going through what she went through, she's now where she's at, and they worked on their marriage. They're amazing. If you don't follow her, I mean, I adore her. And she's real. So anyway, I love that analogy with the pencil. It can go for so many things in your own story. You all have a story, whether you just started today, whether you've been here 10 years, 6 years, 7 years, it doesn't matter. We all have a story to tell. I loved everything about Green Carpet. So let me see what else I can kind of pinpoint. I'm liking where, how do I want to say it? I like how, let's see. I didn't take notes, sorry. My biggest thing is writing down your goals as well. So having your plan, and I got this kind of from a couple of the Zooms I watched as well, but have your plan. Like when they dropped those bonuses, like we didn't have any idea, you guys, and don't let it freak you out, but also don't sit on this. I've done that too much in the past myself. And so what I've been doing is actually, if I get the bonuses that I would like for our family myself, I'm looking at $17,500. Okay. That's huge. That means a lot of my team is going to be winning because I'm going to help you. Okay. That also means that I'm going to be able to pay off a lot of debt. I'm going to have a lot of things for my family, like be able to give back. Like there's just so many things, but I've actually literally wrote down, because you got to know where it's going. So I kind of wrote down, pay off this credit card. I only have one. I just want to pay it off. Pay off medical bills, get it down to the penny of what you have. Okay. So do that. Setbacks equaling setups. That was one of my favorite parts too. Listening to Samantha Bowers talk, Ashley Mayfield, I think was Jamie Marie on that panel. And they all have had stuff happen. They've all had life happen. And every setback just kind of turned out to be another setup for something big. Samantha Bowers is very loud about going ambassador by conference, and her team enrolled 100 distributors yesterday, you guys. They're not playing small. Like, it's time to go big. I've sent out a lot of messages again today. And I think it's just basically being consistent every single day, which I know I have to work on, getting your schedule set, figuring what you're going to do when. Yeah. See, so you can relate. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is just being consistent. I could go on and something else will probably come back to me. So you can go on to the next person for now.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Okay, Deborah, take it away.
Sorry, pushed the wrong button. Hi, everyone. One thing I wanted to start off with is basically going off of what Shara said. Something that they had never done before. It really, I don't know, I guess like it really tugged on my heartstrings when John was going out to just random people and just going to them. And it's like he was called to go to that person and encourage them and kind of let them, sorry if I'm getting a little emotional. It's one of those things, like, you know, regardless of your story or what you've gone through, like, you're still going and still keep pushing. You know what I mean? It was something like that. It was really powerful. So that really, really stood out to me. Another thing that they were talking about, I think it was, is it Sherry Lynn? I think where she said, like, your goals, you got to see them, believe it, pray for it, and work for it. But in order to accomplish your goals, you have to do all four. You can't just do one. You can see your goal and you know what you're working towards, but if you don't believe it for yourself, it's not going to happen. Same thing. You have to pray for it. You have to build that relationship with God. You have to put it in His hands, and you want Him. I heard it in a Bible study that I'm doing. You want God to be marveled at your faith, at you having your faith in Him. You don't want Him to be marveled at your lack of faith. So that's why it's important to pray for your goals. And then also you got to put in the work. I mean, you can do all, you know, the first three, but if you don't work for it, you're literally going to go nowhere. And I, being in the business for several years, I know firsthand that, yeah, you have to do all three, or otherwise it's not going to work. Another one, definitely the pencil. It was life-changing. It was really, really powerful. One of the things it says, you were not born to be a supporting role in someone else's story. Instead, you were meant to be the star of your own story. And that's where the pencil comes into place. That's where, regardless of what mistakes you have, you can remake it. and you can remake the ending of it. So that really, really, that's what touched me. Cards about a whole bunch else, but I could go on forever and ever, but that's what I got.
I love that. Yes. And Sherry Lynn kept saying like it's what's between here and here, like what's between your faith. Basically, like protect your mindset, protect your eyes, protect your ears, protect all of it. So, anyways, I absolutely love that. Okay, Brenda, friend, take it away and share your tips or your aha moment. You guys, this was Brenda's first event too. So
Sorry, had to get my phone to work. It's slow. I enjoyed listening to everybody say that you're not just building team members, you're building friends. Um, I loved how much prayer was going on and is still going on. And it was just amazing to see a stampede of people trying to get in to get a good seat to be able to be up close and personal with everybody there. A little shocked by bonuses. Never really dreamed that the bonuses could be real. And then to actually receive my Ruby gift in the mail today was like, wow.
Yep.
that
So
is incredible.
Hey, can I interrupt for a second? Brenda got to go into the Ruby like private little section. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened in there?
yeah. When I got to the door, the really tall guy, whatever his name was, said I couldn't come in because I didn't have the Ruby wristband.
Oh,
And the lady from the table upstairs grabbed my arm and pulled me in and said, "No, she's a Ruby. I got her. She's coming in." And when we got in there, I'm like, okay, all these people I thought were new, maybe they're not new. They said, you have 5 seconds to run and pick a row of seats for your team and then come right back to this sign. And so everybody took off running. And I was like, holy crap, I gotta go. Good thing I wore boots. If I would have been in heels, it never would have happened. And then we all went back to the sign and they started doing huge group pictures. Everybody started congratulating us for becoming Ruby. And even though we may not understand yet what that means, that there's way more in our future to come. And just to keep pushing forward, come out of your shell. And then we got to do that big circle where everybody puts their hands in and starts yelling, it works, and go team. And then it was just kind of conversation time, walk around, get to know people. And I had a guy grab my arm and I'm like, hi, I'll talk to you even though I don't know you. That was coming out of my shell for me.
That's awesome.
And he just wanted to know my story. And then I was shocked when I pointed him out to Shara and she's like, that's the owner's son. And I was like,
Tyler.
oh, holy crap.
So not
Yeah.
only did you have a run-in with Kyler, but can you share about your conversation with Lenisa? Because I was there for that, and that was so special.
Oh, grab your tissues. That was awesome.
Well, I guess apparently I was standing behind all of you and she didn't like that. She told me to come forward and she started speaking to me. And to be honest with you, I don't remember the words that came out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that the words that came out of her, it felt like her soul was touching my soul. And honestly, I started crying because I'm like, how does this woman know that my life has been terrible for 7 years? And
Mhm.
can she sense that I've been suicidal? Like, it felt like she was within me, and it was just so overwhelming, but so wonderful at the same time.
Mhm.
And that is truly an experience I will never forget.
Yeah, you guys, that's literally what events are about right there. Like that was literally a God moment, and I teared up then, and I'm tearing up now. That was literally a God moment, and it wasn't even like during the event. It was after. It was during our like the wine thing or whatever cocktail hour, and Lanisa just had it on her heart. Like this girl's like sitting in the back. We're all up there like Lanisa, let's get a picture, and I'm like, I had Joni, and I'm like, she wants a picture with you, and Diana, I'm like, she wants a picture with you, and she was kind of in the back. And she was like, why are you standing back there behind them? Like, come forward. Like she knew that there was something off. It was like literally divine intervention. Like God had put it on her heart that she needed to speak to her, and she did, and it was so powerful. And then of course she spoke to all of us like as a group as well. But man, the
And
Brenda,
she got her phone number.
yeah, yeah, she's like, take my phone number. Every one of you text me.
Yeah.
So it was really, really special, really, really
Mm.
special. And I encourage all of you to get to events because you guys need it. You never know what God has for you there, whether it's something you're going to hear from somebody on stage, or whether it's just you getting your excitement back with your business, or you having a good moment like Brenda did, a special moment. So anyway, so good. Okay, so let me see who's next up on the list. It is Kate Writing. Is she on? I'm looking through. I don't see Kate. Okay, so Miriam, you're next.
Hello.
Hey,
You guys, I was
Alexa.
so nervous for this because I don't really talk on Zooms, but I was like, now that I'm on, I'm like, wait, we're just talking like if we were in the hotel.
Yeah,
What, baby?
exactly. Speak to me like you would speak to Anna. We're like,
Yeah, I can't, baby. I'm talking right now. Give me a second, okay? Okay, so basically, hold on, let me check my notes real quick. I did take a lot of notes while I was there. And the things that really spoke out to me was just that you haven't wasted any time, you know, because for me, I've been in since February 2021, and I still haven't gone Ruby, and I've gotten like a few enrollments here and there in a few good months, but for the most part, it's honestly my own lack of consistency and my own lack of belief in myself. So for people, for when they were saying like you need belief, hunger, willingness, and there was one other thing. Let me see, I wrote it down. And gratitude. I'm like, I'm really good with gratitude and all that, but for me, it was more belief in myself that I needed. And so the fact that they were saying, you know, like none of the time is wasted. It was just preparing you for what's actually coming, you know, and it's never too late to go after it. And then also with throwing in the towel, when coach said, we're not throwing the towel out, you know, give it back to me and we're going to work, that lit me up because I was like, yes, like this isn't over. Like, and the thing also with our purpose, and saying that our purpose doesn't really have much to do with us, but what we can do for others and how we can help others, really spoke to me, because this business really is about helping others and helping as many people as possible. And just being at the event was so cool to like actually be there and feel the energy and like all the prayers, how they were saying, you know, and I love that it's faith based and all that. Just I don't know, just everything in general was like, wow, like I am meant to be here. Like it's not really so much about, oh, we're selling a product. It's about how many people can we help, and how many like change their lives with the products, but then also change their lives financially, and help people get freedom of time and freedom of finances. Or when they would talk about their kids, I would get so emotional because I'm like, wow, like that's literally why I'm here. Like it's for my kids. I want to be with my kids. I want my kids to have a present mom. So those things really, really spoke out to me. There was one other thing. Let me check my notes again. Sorry. Some setbacks, you know, can actually be your setups, and that we never stop growing. We just got to keep going, you know. And oh, and I love when Sherry Lynn said, faithful, faithful, faithful. Or no, it was Stacy, I think, that was saying that you have to be faithful, faithful, faithful until one day you're fruitful, and then you keep being faithful and keep being faithful, and then you're even more fruitful, and it just keeps going on and on. So you just have to keep the faith. And all those things hit me because for all these 2 years, I'm like, I've been faithful and faithful, and I'm like, yes, I can do this, I need to do this. But then like after so long, and again, it comes back to my own lack of consistency, but like you start to feel like maybe it's not for you, or maybe you're not meant to be here. But they're like, no, you have to keep the faith, keep the faith, and one day it'll, like, you'll get your harvest and it'll be fruitful, and you can help so many people by you being fruitful. And I feel like that's what God wants, and that's what this company is also, is how many people can you help. But yeah, those are some of my takeaways.
Yeah, huge. I almost forgot about that farmer analogy, and I loved it. He was literally talking about like this, like the similarities of us and having a harvest as a farmer, and how sometimes they go out there and they put in the work and they till up the land and they plant the seeds and it doesn't work out. Like it doesn't grow, but you just stay faithful and your fruitfulness will come. And so it was like a whole speech, but that's just kind of to sum it up. And that was amazing. That and just the part about the belief, I feel like we can all use a lot more belief. All of us, every single one of us in some area of our life could use some sort of belief. So, all right, I'm going to let you take it away now, Takia.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me okay? Okay, so I don't know, there was a lot too for me. My biggest thing was, well, Rebecca was with me, but my biggest thing was driving. Before I even got there, this was the start, because I have not driven to an event on my own. As far as distance goes, my husband's always with me. But after we got there and I met everybody, and then we went to, that was a big part too, meeting everybody in person for me. Mainly belief. The first day, it was about when they did say day one, and they started talking about that, because I have been in for 6 years and I have not ranked up at all. So for me, it's been part of that's been my belief too, because I let others, whatever their opinions affect me, because I care about other people. Mainly it was family, but over the years, I say the last year or so, that's changed. The event made it more clear that the mindset that I have now is correct. As far as, working the business and continuing, I've never given up. I may have stopped, but I never give up. But basically it's all about starting over. So I am starting over. I have no upline. I have sidelines, which is Rebecca and Sharon and Terry, that I've had both. I've had all of them around me the last couple years. So that's helped me a lot. And then Lanisa got to me too. Because I had saw her when we had registered. I saw her then and I spoke to her. And during the cocktail hour, when she come back in, it was right before she had talked to Brenda, and then everyone else, because she had come up to me, because I think I wanted a picture with her too. But when she looked at me, the first word she said was, "I want to know your story. You have a story and I want to know what it is, but not here." And she said, "Put your number in my phone." And I felt a spirit from Lanisa as soon as I talked to her. Like I didn't cry, because I'm the type of person, I don't want to show it. But I had tears. They were in the side of my eyes, and I'm like, no, I can't do that right now. But her presence and her spirit that I felt from her, it got me on day one. And then the pencil thing, I mean, all of it really got me. Rachel Wiggums had said that she said something too. I forgot, I don't know word for word, because it was so much to take in. I'm emotional too, y'all. But it was so much to take in that when Rachel Wiggums got up there and she said that we weren't there for nothing. All of us did not travel, whether we drove, we flew, none of us, we weren't there for nothing. We were all there to get our cup filled. And to grow our mindsets and our belief, and just be around like-minded people that understand where we are and what we are working for, because everybody's not going to understand what we're trying to do, because some don't, they just don't. I mean, there's small-minded people that don't understand, and we are in a different environment than what they may be in. So for me, it was like I said, just being there, and then the pencil thing, that was a good one too. When John Alcala went around and talked to everybody, especially when he's at the very end when he sat next to the lady, I think her name was Rosa, the last one that he had talked to, when he sat next to her, or she wasn't the last one, but she was sitting behind us at the end, and he went up to her and he had no idea who she was, and just him speaking to her and saying that he didn't know her story, but he knew she had one and she was meant to be there. And I could see her, she teared up a little bit too, but just the feeling that like it's like the caring feeling from them for everyone, not just one specific person. They were showing that they cared about everybody. And that for me, just being a part of the company and then being around everybody else was my takeaways. So
Yeah, the heart of our company is literally like no other. If you're brand
yeah.
new in this business, I know that there's so many newbies on here. You may not know this yet and you may not have been impacted by it, but I promise you will, because our company has one of the biggest hearts. Like, they do not care if you're brand new and you've made $0 and 0 cents with this company so far. Once you hit that submit button and they get to know you, they love you and they love on you. And so just know that you are in the right place, that this is a family owned Christian based company and we work together. Like, we are all in this together and you're never ever alone, whether it's business life, personal life, you need one of us, we are always right there. So just know that that is one huge thing that I love about this, is just the heart of the company and the people. So okay, I'm gonna go share my notes. I am a little bit of a talker, but I got a lot of notes to share with you guys. I was literally, Nash Joni, I was sitting there like typing it out because I couldn't miss anything, and I was trying to get a word for word. Okay. So first thing is our Gives Back program. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we have so many different organizations that our company gives back to all the time. Okay. They are community things like community outreach, anti-human trafficking, humanitarian aid, international crisis response, veteran support, and fighting pediatric cancer. Okay. We have a whole Facebook page. If you guys are not aware, you can go to the It Works Give Back on Facebook and follow along to see what organizations we're supporting or what little things that we're doing each month. But that is something huge, goes back to the heart of the company. And so I just wanted to start this out by telling y'all that if you don't know, you are able, if you want to donate to those causes, to choose in your eSuite. If you go to commissions, click on Gives Back, you can choose to donate $1, $3, or $5 out of every single paycheck you make with this company towards those. Y'all, I have donated $5 out of my account and my husband's paycheck every single month for 6 years now, and I never missed it. Like, I never look at my paycheck and be like, there's $5 missing, because they take it before you ever get it. So I would recommend, even if it's just $1, go and set that up. It is so important. We are a faith-based team here as well, and it is so important to sow those seeds. So important. So if you're not giving somewhere, this can be a place that you do give. So, because they do go to great causes. The other thing is to attach your goals to a dollar amount, because vision without action is simply wishful thinking. That was huge for me when I heard that said. I was like, yes. Every single month, I'd make a monthly like goal sheet for myself. Do I hit it every month? Absolutely not. I fall short sometimes too. But I always sit down and I always attach it to a dollar amount, and that's usually bonuses. So what is my goal this month? That goes back to the list of 50 things that we had you guys do. What's something on that list of 50 things that you could mark off this month? But you have to know, because if you have vision but no action, meaning if we're going to Texas but we didn't have Google Maps and we didn't have a handheld map, it was just wishful thinking that we were going to get there. And it's the same thing with this business. You have to have action alongside your vision. Otherwise, you're just what ifing it. Okay. We don't need to what if it. We want to be successful. The other thing came from Jessica Wireman, and she shared 3 keys to being social and having a successful social media account. So number 1 was to post you with IW, It Works, sprinkled in, is so important. So making sure that you're branding yourself, meaning like you need to figure out what your pillars are and make sure that you're posting about those things. And I will send you guys, there's like a little sheet that I have that I'll send, but it showed like how to figure out your pillars. I took a picture of it. But figure out what what are your pillars? What are things that you can post about? Are you a mom? Do you have dogs? Do you enjoy hiking? Do you enjoy working out? Like, what are things about you in your day-to-day life that you can post about? But you should be posting you and branding yourself, and just sprinkle it works in. You don't want every single post on your page to be about the business because it's not relatable. I always think back to, I don't know if y'all remember, we don't have them all, so I don't know if everywhere doesn't have them all anymore, but ours got taken down by a tornado and they never put it up, but put it back up. But anyway, so I always think back to like the earlier 2000s when there was these booths set up and they would like have the straighteners in there and they'd be like, let me straighten your hair. And they would basically like chase you down to strap. I don't ever want to be that person, okay? I want people to come to me to straighten their hair because they see a shirt that I'm wearing and they like it, or because they see my Starbucks coffee sitting on my counter and they're like, "Ooh, girl, what'd you get?" You know, like brand yourself. Let people come to you because of who you are and what you have to offer, and because you guys have a connection, not because you post so much about your business that it feels like you're like sales pitching them to death. Don't do that. So branding yourself was huge. Her other tip was growing out or growing your network. How to do that is to follow people or add like crazy. So you should be doing that every single day. That's one of your non-negotiables. Make sure that you are adding friends daily. The other thing was, hold on, where am I at? Message people and just ask. Make an ask out of yourself. I always say that. She didn't say that, but I always say that. Make an ask out of yourself because you should be asking people all the time. Like every single day, you should be offering the business opportunity or product. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. So keeping that in mind, if they say no, then they were not meant to be in your business anyways. And then number 4, she did add in an extra tip. She said 3, but added 4. So her other one was this is extra, but it's consistency. And that will be your superpower if you just have consistency. And we all know how true that is. The next set of tips came from Jamie Marie, and she shared to stop comparing and don't count yourself out. That is huge. You guys, as these bonuses are being launched out, do not look left and right. I don't want Joni to look at Takia and Takia to look at Madison and Madison to look at Shara and we just start this comparison trap, because it's a lie of the enemy. Whatever you are looking at somebody else and thinking, oh, they have it, but I don't, that is a lie. Okay. You have everything inside of you that is needed. We have provided all the tools in your business that is needed. Like there's nothing that the next person has that you don't, whether it be internally or externally. So just know that you can make it happen. So if you aren't open, or if you aren't where you want to be open to change and pivot. I wrote that down that she shared as well. Create curiosity on your page, but also be a product of the product. So like dripping things. So that maybe like, did y'all see my post whenever we were there and I was holding my skinny coffee and I was like, day 2, skinny coffee and day 2 or something like that. So you could post short and sweet little stuff. And I did have somebody message me and say, where do I get skinny coffee? That's dripping your product. So creating curiosity about what it is that you're doing, what are you using, that type of thing will attract people to you as well. But then making sure that you're being a product of the product. You want to get your own results because that will help as well. And know that there is not a secret sauce, you guys. There's literally no secret sauce. We've shared all of the tools. Stop sleeping on Reels was something she said, and I could not agree more. Reels and TikToks are huge. Don't overthink it and make it harder than it is. Another tip that she shared is to get a sideline that believes in you more than you believe in yourself. And I'm going to tell you, over this past year, a little over a year now, I've been working with sidelines that believe in me sometimes more than I believe myself. And I truly believe that that has been the driving force for the huge shift, huge positive shift that my business has taken. And so I want to encourage all of you to do the same thing. And then making sure that you're in 10 new conversations a day. If you are, that averages 3,000 new conversations in a year. So make sure you're doing that. That's a lot. 3,000 new people if you just make sure that you're in 10 new conversations a day. Make sure that you are full circle working, meaning that you're not posting, but then not messaging, or you're not messaging, but then not posting. Like everything goes hand in hand. So you can't do one without the other. And then she also shared, don't compare. Sister Bug, I can't pick you up. Mommy's working. My kids are like, you're home and I want you. Katie Bevington, she shared to make sure that you follow up. You never know who's on your list, even after years of following up, will be your next ambassador. And you guys, that could not be truer. I have recently just learned from my mistakes. Follow up with people all the time because you never know who could take off. The real secret sauce, or the real secret to success. Sorry, I'm reading my notes backwards. The real secret to social media is being yourself. And that is so true. Be authentic. People do not want to follow a robot. Base your content on who you want to attract. So go find the yous in the world. That's where it comes into play to know your pillars. Are you a mom? Show people your behind the scenes during your day and just be relatable. So like you want to attract other people like you so that you can relate with them and better help them. She also shared the 4 laws of no, sorry. This was the harvest thing that somebody talked about. I think it was Miriam talked about. So the 4 laws of the harvest. It depends on whether you sow. It depends on rather you sow. It depends on what you sow, and it depends on how much you sow. If you're not happy with your harvest, sow some more. And 4th, it depends on why you sow. That was huge. I loved every bit of it. So it depends on if you're sowing or not, because like we always say, he cannot bless the steps that we're not taking. It depends on what you're sowing. Are you sowing positive into the world or negative? It depends on how much you sow. So how many messages are you sending out? If you're sending out 10, you might get one. Okay, one response or whatever. And then it depends if you're hold on, where's that? If you're not happy with your harvest, sow some more. And I feel like that one is self-explanatory. Eliana, what's wrong, baby? You can't get up here. I already told you no. Start being faithful, sister. We're gonna get in big trouble. You're not supposed to be in here. Anyways, start being faithful to what God's put in your hands. Be faithful on Monday through Sunday, and then all of a sudden you show up and you're not just faithful, you're fruitful. So I love that. So anyways, those were all of my notes. It's a wrap. Is there anybody else that either watched like a live? Go ahead.
Yes, I did. I have 3 pointers that I haven't heard you guys, unless I missed it, but I don't think I did, that I haven't heard you guys say, and there were 3 things that like really stood out. One was the tree analogy that John gave of like, if you have this tree and it's like in a perfect environment and it never went through any hardships, the roots aren't growing. And so like when you're going through things and you're going through all these storms and stuff, you're growing deep roots, and that's like really, really important, especially if you want to withstand any kind of like craziness in life. And trust me, we've had craziness in life going on right now. So that was one thing. The other thing was when Ashley Mayfield was saying like, just like they were saying, when you're trying to look left and right, like don't do that, and don't be jealous of other people's success. Instead, be like, that's for me. Oh, this trip's announced, that's for me. These bonuses are announced, that's for me. You see someone winning, that's for me too. Like, like all of that is just it's just the way that you elevate yourself. But I really like that. And then the third one I was gonna say, I had to do with John. Oh yeah, it was so powerful. I don't even know if I know who John and Sherry Lynn's enroller is, but when he gave her that award at the end, when he was thanking her and telling her, because of you saying yes, which is crazy, because of you saying yes, you changed my life. You changed Sherry Lynn's life. You changed Tessie Carter's life. Like Kelly Brown started naming all these successful leaders and people who have been doing so much. Not only that, you guys, like he didn't say it, but he literally changed Mark and Cindy's life. The enroller, changed Mark and Cindy's life too, because who's leading the company? Someone she enrolled. It's crazy. To me, I was like, oh my gosh. And again, I don't even know who this enroller was, but if you guys want to let me know who enrolled them, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Sarah O'Connell.
Like, I don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
I don't even know who she is, but it's crazy because it's like all the stuff that happened just because she decided to like go for it, and also with the like, okay, I've just been going through a lot of changes, you guys, like a lot of things and a lot of eye-opening things. So like this past week, since I've been posting a lot more about me and just talking kind of like how's my day going, do you know how many messages I got because of these press-ons? How many messages I got with my cute jacket, people being like, oh my God, like literally conversations coming out of nowhere. And even though like, this is just, I feel like I just have to say this, even though you may think you're having a hard time having 10 conversations, the cute pink cup, yeah. Even though you're like, I'm having a hard time getting 10 conversations. Okay. How hard would it be for you to have 10 normal conversations with people? Not having to do with the business, not having to do with the product, but literally just having a normal conversation. What if you just did that? You know, I'm not saying just do that. Don't settle for that. Obviously, you want more. But what if you just started building at least 10 new conversations with 10 new people a day? Just normal, not trying to be sneaky. Because another thing, you guys, and this is nothing to do with green carpet, I'm sorry, but I've been like watching I don't know if you guys follow her, the Colleen. She's the No Shame Sales Game girl, where she's like the anti-hey girl movement with MLMs, where she's like, let's be different. Let's be authentic, you know? I've been watching her and I've honestly like had a little bit of an eye opener where I'm like, I don't want to feel icky about my business. I want to feel authentic. I want to feel like I enjoy working every day. I enjoy doing things. So like I might shift some things that, you know, like other people might not be doing. But to me, I'm like, I want a strong business. And a lot of times we're rushing. And yes, these bonuses are amazing, but you want to sustain. Anyone who's promoted at least one rank knows if you don't sustain, you basically just promoted to just get the rank. And that's not fun either. You want to like build strong. And that's where these roots come in. This is where like keeping pushing on, like when things are like kind of going crazy, like it was just a lot. But those three main pointers were the ones that I was like, wow, like that's just powerful.
I think a lot of other things that you don't see that weren't in like in the videos is like the side conversations. Like there was a lot of conversations, like we were fortunate to, you know, Sam Bowers was there. So went over and started talking to her and I can't think of her name right now, but they were sitting there, you know, charting and working on things. And no wonder they enrolled that many yesterday. You know what I mean? Like they were actually doing, but she got up, she started talking, and she was like, basically just, you know, the 4-in-1s. And right now your focus should be getting these distributors on board so we can show them how to do it. We can go back, you know, get as many enrolled as you can so we can help them get started. We can always do launch parties. We can always do all that stuff to help you, but just getting as many conversations, like you said, and bringing those people in. And the thing is, some are going to stay, some are going to try, some are not. I mean, that's just it. Like, is Takia still on here? Like she said, she hasn't had a rank up. That doesn't mean she hasn't enrolled anybody. I've been working with Takia for years. She's enrolled people. They just didn't get the vision, you guys. You guys are the ones here that are getting the vision right now. You're on. Yes, I know people are at work and I know people have other things going on, and that's totally understandable. But like when you can see it before it happens, that's huge. And I know that Terry, Becca, and I have strong visions for things like this, and that's what we're still here for. And just seeing some of those leaders that have been in a long time as well, and they were talking, and they were they didn't give up just because it got hard, you know, and just because you don't feel like working doesn't mean not to work. And I just have to give a shout out that out of all my rings I put on this morning, you guys, I put on my new 10-year ring that I was surprised to get as a gift. And my like eyes watered, and the certificate, this time it has my name on it, where at conference they didn't have our names on them. Now it's more personable. This has a 10 on the side and our emblem on the other side. I showed my husband and he was like, that's really cool. You know, I'm like, it means a lot. And this is what's going to help me keep going every day. Cause I'm like, I'm going to wear it every day. But I mean, it's the little things, like I said, like we talked about the heart of the company, just those little things. It's a lot, you know. This never happened. I mean, this stuff didn't happen before, I feel like, not as much. They're bringing it back. Just like Saturday night. Think about, just envision this, if you will. I know some of you are going to think I'm crazy, but we were talking to Steph and Joel, and we were going to work Saturday night in the lobby with Stephanie. She did not want to go, but she had to go. It sounds like they had a great time, but they went to the Alcalas because they brought back the ambassador party. So they want to bring that back because they want you to see what you get to do when you get to that level, you guys. And that's just something really cool. And I think they invited a few other people as well, from what I saw. One funny thing I can share with you if you didn't see it. Did anybody see Joel Dunn's post? He made it home without his wallet. The party was that good. He lost his wallet at John's house. So John had to send it back to him. And I just thought, now that some of you have met him and you can see him, it just cracked me up a little bit. But I don't know. There's just so much excitement. And to see the look, like you said, on some of the faces of Brenda and some of you girls that were fairly new to being around some of those people, like when Mark would walk in or when Kyler was there, or, oh, and the other thing is when we were like, whether you're sitting down eating and all of a sudden here comes Meredith and she's just so normal. Like, this is just such a different vibe. We've seen a lot of life happen in this company. And before we were talking about how it used to be, you know, Mark and Cammie and Pam. And as much as I love all of them, and Mike, they were like, Mark still has security guards, don't get me wrong, but they were like, you couldn't get near them. You couldn't touch them. If you got a picture with them, you were lucky. You know, it was just, and I think that created that idolization. But when you step back and realize that those stories that were told today by everybody that was up on that white couch and everybody that was talking, look where Christy Christensen started. If you heard her story, I mean, she didn't have money at all. Steph and Joel sold their couch to get in there to start the business. I mean, a lot of them were in food lines. Like, when you hear that and you think somebody else out there always has it worse than you, even if sometimes you think you're just in a bad spot, just realize that you're not as bad as you think you are, and you can get out of it and we can grow from it, and just believing in ourselves. And that goes for me too. Because I sent a lot of messages out yesterday and I didn't enroll anybody. And it hurt me hard last night. It hit me really hard because all these people, but I'm not begging people that wanted to join, because if you beg people to join you, you're going to have to beg them to work with you. And if they're not going to do it, I can't have that kind of energy. So it's okay. The right people will come. And that didn't mean I didn't message today. I've messaged a lot more today and we're in conversations. So sorry, I'm rambling, but I think that's all.
Oh, so good. We will end it there because I know that we are like close. We're pushing like an hour and a half. But just remember, like, the motto for Green Carpet going in was day one or one day. And I want that to set true the rest of this year. So as we're closing out 2023 and we're coming up on the holidays and all of the things, don't forget, you can either have day one, which was there at conference, like we are in our day one right now, or you can have one day. Are you going to keep putting things off until next year? Are you going to, you know, make all of the excuses? Oh, the holidays are coming up. Oh, this is happening. X, Y, and Z is happening. Or are you going to stay disciplined and finish through with your day one and get the things done so that you can have a great, you know, one day instead of continuing to put it off and starting over and starting over and starting over. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank y'all for hopping on. I hope everyone has a good night. Bye, y'all.
Bye.